Hello, welcome to Awakening with Soulspirational. I'm Tish, and I want to take this episode to talk about humanity, really about the duality of who each and every one of us are. We are human beings as well as spiritual beings. And when I read through, different books in the Bible, I found this connection, this separation and yet togetherness of both that which is our human selves, our physical selves that are here experiencing this lifetime, as well as the Spirit of God that resides within us. And it's like, seeing that in some instances it almost feels like a battle between the two. Other times there's this beautiful melding between the two, this coming together. And when we think about things like balance, finding that balance between the physical self and the spiritual self. As I read through different passages, different books in the Bible, to me, I just feel like, God, through other humans, is trying to raise our awareness to be a better human being. To acknowledge the God light, that spirit that is within us. When I see what's going on in our country and in our world, it makes me sad. It really just breaks my heart. The way that I see it is all of us are connected. Each and every one of us. So to hate one person means I'm hating myself from a spiritual perspective. I can absolutely not like what somebody does, and yet on a spiritual level still be able to love them because I am them, they are me. And I see the destruction, and yes, the beauty, but because I do believe there's more beauty in the world than there is darkness. That said, I want to look at some of that darkness today. Because we can continue to turn a blind eye to it, pretend that we don't see it, pretend that we don't hear it, but it still is there. It surrounds us. And if we don't start addressing, if we continue to be quiet about some of the things that are going on around us, how is it going to get better? By speaking up, by rising up and speaking out, we may be able to battle. And I do believe that good, it wins in the end. Sometimes when I think about good and evil, what's perceived as evil, to me, evil is being things like, and it's not even being evil. There are aspects, there are light and shadow aspects to each and every one of us. It is what is taking up space within the soul. Is there more of one than the other? And then this is where I don't necessarily want to balance that to have equal amounts of darkness and light. I strive for complete light. I don't know that I'll be able to attain that, but I'm trying. But I also recognize, even so, I'm still a human being. So there are going to be human qualities, just by being alive, just by being in this body, that I'm going to have. There are going to be times in my life where I am experiencing things like hate or jealousy or resentment. I try in those moments to find the silver lining, to get back to the light aspect of things. To get back to, where's the learning lesson? How can I evolve from this? What is this that needs to be healed within me? Because if I am in a moment of hate, if I am in a moment of resentment, that speaks far more about what's inside of me than what's inside of whatever it is that I'm projecting that onto. When we work towards healing our ills, first it's that recognition. So if I was raised with a particular cycle of hate, It is incumbent upon me, it is my responsibility, once I recognize that, to break the cycle. To break the cycle. Therefore, I am not teaching my kids that, so that they don't have to try and break the cycle or continue the cycle unto their children. What is it? Where did this hatred begin? How did it seep into my heart, into my soul? When I think about, again, the dualities, the spiritual and the human, to me, the spiritual side is the spirit. The spirit of God, this higher power that is living inside of each and every one of us. And when I go in and I'm meditating on, or I'm thinking about that spirit of God that is within me, I don't see or feel hate or jealousy or resentment. It's love. Now, my soul, the energy of this lifetime and any possible previous lifetimes, I feel that some of that energy could reside within the soul, but the spirit is pure. And because I've experienced all these other emotions, because I'm human, so I've had all these other experiences, I try and catch myself when I am in the moment. Because I want to gravitate towards that spirit that is within me, as opposed to the lower aspects of what it means to be a human. There are beautiful qualities of humanness. My God, we get the experience of hugging with physical arms, seeing the beauty with these physical eyes, touching, the beautiful sensation of touch that the physical fingertips can allow us to experience. That's part of the beauty for me of being a human being, is to have this human experience. And yet there are times when these other aspects just kind of creep in. They make me take notice. To me, being human and being spiritual, I try to remind myself, how can I help humanity rise above some of its lower level vibration, some of that lower energy. And again, when I look back at the Bible, that's what different people throughout the Bible, to me, were trying to do, to rise us up above rape and murder, stealing, infidelity, whatever it may be. We're better than that. And how can we be better than that? Because we go in, we feel, we experience the light of God that is within us. We can allow that hate to be dissolved or transmuted. When we are looking at others, if, for example, we're holding on to hate in the form of racism, just so many things go through my mind. One, if God created all, who am I to judge somebody on the color of skin that God has given them? Who am I to see anybody less than because of the color of their skin? And truly, who am I to see anybody less than who I am? Nobody is lesser than, nobody is greater than. Nobody deserves to feel like a second-class citizen, especially in our country. And it breaks my heart, the level of racism that is still here, right here in our city or county, the state, or the country as a whole. I, for one, am not going to judge God for all the different colors of our skin. That isn't love. When we are operating from that place, what sparks that racism? How can we stop it? How can we break the cycle and rise above it? At what point do we get to where we start seeing our neighbors, strangers, as our brothers and sisters who are walking this earth with us? When like in these most recent mass shootings, and as the ones before them, I was not directly affected in the physical sense by those shootings. I wasn't there. I don't know anybody who was impacted directly, physically. But to me, because we are all one, when one person is shot, we are all shot. When one person is victimized, we are all victimized. We cannot tolerate racism, xenophobia. We can't. Accepting it and allowing it to be is accepting it towards ourselves. If we are going to sit in church and worship God and then walk out and start looking at people of different races or different religious beliefs, different ethnicities, if we're going to start looking at them as different, as less than who we are ourselves, well, to me, what's the point of sitting in a pew? And I know I'm going to really upset some people with these words, but I too am upset. I was raised with Christian beliefs. And I struggle about, I try to make sense of what Jesus did and what some of us in humanity, in mankind, what we are doing. And there's a disconnect. And that's because I don't believe that Jesus taught us to treat other people as second-class citizens, that they aren't as good as us. Where is the love? And yes, I feel like I am preaching, and part of me is, because we need to wake up, not just as citizens of this great country, the spiritual, that spirit within us needs to shine through. Whenever we speak something that is negative, whether it's towards ourselves or somebody else, whatever plane that you want to put that on, the soul knows. The soul is keeping score, so to speak. It's logging this stuff. It will push back against us. And we get to choose at any time and at any moment to stop the hate, to stop the hateful rhetoric. We choose individually. And the more that we open up, the more that we are willing to speak through love and through the spirit that flows within us, the more that we can get rid of that hate or reduce it. We do not. In this coming through this passion of mine, this is because I'm hurt soulfully on what is going on. It hurts my spirit. And it's not even that I hate what's going on. To use the word hate, it saddens me because we are not being the best that we can be, either as a human or as a spiritual being. We get to choose. That's empowerment, a choice. Because let me tell you, if you are listening to hateful rhetoric and you yourself get caught up in it, they just took your power. You just lost power in that moment. When somebody is speaking hateful rhetoric and you stand up in the moment and you say, no, I choose love. I love the men and women of this country, of this earth, regardless of what color their skin, regardless of where they pray, regardless of who they love. That's empowering. My dad used to say, God gave you a spine and he gave you a voice. Use them. And I try in my own way to get messages of love to people. Yes, even love the sinner. Love the sinner. When I am saying my prayers, and prayers are enough. That's part of the reason of this video, because thoughts and prayers are enough. We need to act. We need action. And I'm hoping to help get you to that place of wanting to take action through love. Peaceful action through love. When I see what is going on, I just can't be silent anymore. When I do go in the moment of prayer, especially at these times, the week of the mass shooting, I first pray for the souls of those who lost their lives. Excuse me. I pray for the victims who are still alive, but who were physically impacted, who are healing, for their full and complete recovery. I pray for those that were present, that heard the gunshot, that watched people fall around them, that stepped over either lifeless bodies or those that are writhing in pain. They can't unsee or unexperience that. I pray for the family and the loved ones who lost people during these tragedies, or are praying for those that are still alive, their family members that are still alive, that will have to undergo multiple surgeries, or the mental toll that it took upon their family members or their loved ones. I pray for God's grace and comfort for all of them. I pray for the community in which it happened. I pray for the first responders who risk their lives to save the others, for their strength, that courage, that bravery. I pray for our country. I pray for God's grace and love for every heart that has been hardened by hate, for it to be softened, for it to open up to God's love. Because to me, being In the grace of God's love, there's no room for hate. And yes, I pray for the shooter. Whether they're alive or dead. And this past weekend, one was arrested with that incident. The other one was killed at the scene. The one in Dayton that was shot and killed, I pray for his soul. I pray for his family who must be aching because he shot his sister and killed his sister too. I can't even imagine what his family must be experiencing. I pray for them. And for the shooter in El Paso that is still alive, I pray for him. I pray that he, from this place of hate, I pray that he can find God's Spirit within him, so that while he spends these years in prison, that he can transform and be the voice, the bridge between the races within his community, his new community, within jail and then eventually for prison. We need to come together. We need, in my opinion, in my very humble opinion, to unite in love. Love of God, love of self, love for humanity. We can rise. We can be stronger. And I don't care what your political affiliation, because this isn't about politics. I'm talking to you about humanity. I'm asking you, for those that are reveling in the hate, to push past it. Find that beautiful spirit that is within you. And this isn't some woo-woo, esoterical kind of thing. It's love. It's love. You deserve to feel God's love within you. You deserve to shine and share that light with others. The only person stopping you is you. Step out of the hate. Regain your power through love. It is possible. All of us can do this. Open your heart to the warmth and the grace of God. We have to be the change we wish to see in this world. I'm asking you to start seeing each other as souls, as fellow brothers and sisters in spirit, as opposed to what your physical eyes are seeing by the color of somebody's flesh, or what, church or synagogue, or wherever they choose to pray, whomever they choose to love. My God, love is love. What business is it of mine to tell somebody who they can and cannot love? We need more love. We see community leaders of different faiths coming together. They may agree with their particular religious beliefs, but they love each other. They come together, they unite through love. And I'm just asking us if we can do that. I'm asking you to rise up in love. Let's lose the hate, the resentments, the jealousies, the othering, the less than. Because if we want to make somebody feel less than us, I don't care if it's a sibling, a friend, a coworker. When I think about making somebody feel less than, I think about when somebody is drowning. And as a little girl being in somebody's pool. I was drowning. My sister jumped in to save my life. I didn't know any better. I think I was probably 3 or 4. I remember like I was pushing her head down just to try and keep mine out of water. It was a way to save myself, to rise up out of the water. Thankfully, she's okay. Somebody else had jumped in and helped in this situation. But when I feel like we have to put somebody else down, it's because we need to lift ourselves up. Why? What is it within us that we feel less than? That we have to keep somebody else down just to push ourselves up? Stop it. Heal yourself. Take back your power. You deserve love. You deserve to be loved. You deserve a great and wonderful life. Nobody around you is stopping you. The only person who gets to do that is you. And maybe sometimes it's our perspective, the way that we think that life is supposed to be for us. And when we don't have it just the way that we want it. Do you think my life turned out the way that I wanted it to be? No. But I am so incredibly blessed and grateful that I'm here, that I get to talk to you, that I get to have these experiences. We get to take the power back, shift the perspective, stop putting others down so we can feel better, heal what is within, feel the love that is within you, and then please shine it. Shine that light. Share that love with the world. If you've gotten this far, I truly, truly appreciate it. We need warriors of love. As hokey and as cheesy as that is, we need love warriors. Join me. Thank you. Until next time, namaste.